He was just 17. 17 and leading an army. Not a small skirmish crew. An army. And not just any army either. He was commanding some of the most respected men in the entire Muslim world. Veterans. Warriors who had fought alongside the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him himself. Men with swords scarred from Badr, Khaybar. Now picture that. A teenager standing at the head of a force that included giants of faith. All eyes on him. And not all of them kind. His name? Usama ibn Zayd. He wasn't born into mediocrity. His father, Zayd ibn Haritha, may Allah be pleased with him, had been the adopted son of a Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. A man so loved by him, he was known as Zayd, the beloved of the messenger. And Usama? Usama had grown up in that household, loved like a grandson, trusted like a son. But love alone doesn't put a sword in your hand and an army behind your back. That had to be earned. The year was 632 CE. The Prophet, peace be upon him, had fallen ill. But even in his final days, he was thinking ahead of leadership, of expansion, of protection. He appointed Usama to lead a campaign against the Byzantine Empire, stationed in the region of Balka, near modern-day Jordan. It was a critical mission, one that required not just strategy, but serious resilience. And the Prophet, peace be upon him, chose Usama. No hesitation. But others hesitated. Some of the senior companions whispered, "He's too young," they said. "Why should we follow a teenager into battle?" It's human, isn't it? The ego. The quiet discomfort of being led by someone younger, less experienced. People talk. They question. They underestimate. But the Prophet, peace be upon him, didn't. From his sickbed, he heard the murmurs, and he responded with a clarity that cut deeper than any sword. If you criticize his leadership, you also criticize the leadership of his father before him. And he was worthy leadership, and so is Usama. That endorsement wasn't just words. It was legacy. It was the Prophet, peace be upon him, telling the world that leadership isn't about age. It's about trust, capability, purpose. He saw in Usama what others couldn't: calm under pressure, obedience without ego, wisdom beyond his years. But think about it from USAM's perspective. The pressure, the eyes judging every move, the weight of command sitting heavy on his shoulders. This wasn't a TikTok video where someone goes viral for a day and fades. This was real responsibility, real lives, real stakes. One wrong decision could cost lives. And the man who trusted him, his mentor, his Prophet, peace be upon him, was dying. When the Prophet, peace be upon him, passed away, chaos began to swirl. Tribes apostatized. The political landscape shook. And the army that had been preparing to march with Usama, people wanted it to be paused, held back. "We need the men here," they said. The Muslim world is vulnerable. But Abu Bakr, may Allah be pleased with him, the newly appointed caliph, knew better. He knew that stopping the army meant undermining the final command of the Prophet, peace be upon him. And he wasn't about to let that happen. Not on his watch. So what did he do? Abu Bakr, may Allah be pleased with him, walked beside Usama as the army set out on foot while Usama rode on horseback. That's right. The caliph of the Muslim world walked. To show respect. To show the world that leadership wasn't about ego or age, but about honor and trust. Now imagine your USAMA in that moment. The world questioning you. Your heart aching from the death of the Prophet, peace be upon him. And yet, the most powerful man in the Ummah is walking beside you, telling you with every step, "I believe in you." Can you feel what that does to a young heart? The fire it lights inside you? Usama completed the mission. Not only that, he crushed it. The campaign was successful. The Byzantines were defeated. His leadership was proven not by words, but by results. And when he returned, it wasn't just as that young guy who led an army. It was as a man who had earned his place among legends. So why does this matter now, to you? Because we live in a world that constantly tells young people they're not enough, not experienced enough, not disciplined enough, not wise enough. Everything's too early, too fast, too unrealistic. You're told to wait your turn, gain more experience, prove yourself first. Sound familiar? But Usama's story throws that out the window. It says, yes, you're young, but your youth doesn't define your worth. Your actions do. It says that when you're chosen for something, when you're trusted, it's not by accident. It's because someone sees in you what you might not even see in yourself. And there's something deeper here too. Usama didn't push for leadership. He didn't campaign for it. He didn't post about being built different. He was given leadership because of his character. his humility, his loyalty, his ability to take orders and deliver results. Today, everyone wants influence, but few want responsibility. Usama didn't chase power. He carried it with grace, with discipline, with purpose. This is the kind of example Gen Z Muslims need, not just motivational quotes or flashy dawah. Real people, real stories, real pressure, and how faith, when it lives in your bones, makes you stand firm even when the world doubts you. It's also a lesson for how we treat others, how quick we are to dismiss someone younger, how easy it is to assume wisdom has a minimum age. But Islam never measured value by years. It measured it by taqwa, by sincerity, by heart. So maybe the question isn't, can you be a Usama? Maybe it's, will you be ready if Allah chooses you for something big, even when others think you're too small? Because history remembers Usama, not for his age, but for how he rose when it mattered. And maybe, just maybe, it's your time to rise too.